So the temperature came down today to 83 degrees, and then it's going to go right back up. One day next week it might be back down to 83 degrees, but every other day for the next 10 days it's going to be in the 90s, high 80s. So at any rate, Faye is coming in from the east, and it should be raining pretty good in the next hour or so. It's going to last till about 5 o'clock, and as a result of that storm. So I guess I'm not going fishing. There's still a chance that I might go fishing tonight down by the river, fish on the bank for catfish. Not something I do a lot of, but it's a lot easier to get in your car and hightail it out of there in the event of a storm if you're not out on the water on your boat. So someone like me, I live by the weather. I've been told I worship the Weather Channel. Well, I do watch it quite a bit. So I'm going to make a video here how we rig things for catfishing. And this is just one way to do it. There's any number of ways of doing it. Almost everything works. First, let me show you my new light. This is a navigation light. This one stopped working. There's something wrong inside of it. The wiring on the boat is perfect. I've tested it over and over, and it's working fine. But this thing right here loses its connection. It's got a loose wire, some bad contact inside. Well, the other night it came back on all by itself. Nobody touched it. We're just boating along. All of a sudden, that light's on. I've tried it and tried it. It works every single time now. So whatever that is, I expect it to crop up. Nonetheless, I ordered a brand new one. So I got the new one in the mail today. UPS. You have a red light and green light. It's amazing how well you can see those two lights from a great distance when a boat is out on the water at night. This indicates the starboard side, the green, and the red is the port side. So a boat from out there knows that that's the front of your boat, because these lights only go in front, and they know which is your left and your right hand side. Makes for a safe situation. On the back of the boat, this goes on the bow. On the back, there's a thing on my transom where I plug in a great big tall lamp, and it's by law required to be X many feet above the edge of the boat, and that's a clear white light. And so you always know where the tail end of another vessel is. So I got that. Whenever you have a boat or whenever you fish, it's all about fishing and fishing accessories. I don't do a very good Hank Hill. Catfishing. Chicken blood. It's a paste, a bait, bought at Walmart. Buy it anywhere. There are so many different brands of this. If you go on YouTube, there are so very many individuals who will demonstrate the recipe that they use to make something similar to this. Catfish are like sharks. They can smell really good. So baits that smell of something specific, like chicken blood, and this is a chicken blood big bite bait from Walmart. Anything that smells strong, it's just like throwing chum in the water for a shark. This is the original big bite. It's cheese and liver. Liver's an old-timey bait that catfishermen have used since forever, like I said. This is a hog wild catfish dip bait, and it says blood bait. We can assure you the blood is from chickens. It dissolves out into the, it's a paste, and when you use it, it begins to dissolve out into the water and spreads its scent all over the water, and it draws the fish in. And that's how you catch catfish. Now there is another bait. This is what my brother likes to use. I don't see the difference. It's all going to work the same way to be stinky and put out a very strong odor. And these livers, woo, it's just a real chicken liver, and there it sits, chicken liver. You put it on a hook. With a little bit of effort, you can get it to stay on that hook. And that's probably the main concern for someone fishing with these catfish baits, is getting them to stay on the hook. So I have here these, I call them baskets or net hooks. I'm sure they have a proper name. They're calling it the Biggin Bait Holder from Walmart. There are different styles of these bait holder hooks, but this is a treble hook. And there's a sponge behind it that sits there. It soaks up all kinds of fluids and juices. And there's this little basket. And that little basket, you dip it inside those baits. And you can use a stick or a spoon or whatever, and you just lay it down there and you push the stuff in there and you fill that basket. Now, one of these baits is very much like a dough, and I really like that because I can just take a lump of it and shove it in here. And this is open here, and it fills that up. And so this does, when there's current, it does dissolve, and you have to rebait your hook from time to time, but that's true with all of these baits. A piece of liver soaking in the water eventually loses its juices and its odor, its scent, and then you no longer are attracting any fish. So these are very convenient for me because I do like to use these baits. I've never made my own. The only exception to coming up with my own bait is when I cut the heads off of bluegills and use that head on a hook. Now, the other way that people do this is just with a hook. This is called a circle hook, and you'll see why. You can even see there where the tip is bent into the middle of the circle, and the hook is already shaped a bit like a circle. The idea is that this is definitely going to hook that fish. I don't like to use those. I don't dislike using them, but I like to use a regular J hook. And you can see this is called a J hook. It's shaped like a J. It's got a good barb on there. I don't remember ever losing any fish that I thought I lost them because of this hook. Now, this isn't a pure J hook. In fact, you can see that the shaft is bent a little bit there. You can see that. The tip of the hook is bent out a little bit. Same idea. This facilitates hooking the fish. My favorite hooks really are a perfect J hook. This is not a big one. I have some really big ones somewhere, but it doesn't have an angle to the tip. And it's shaped like a J. It's not a circle hook. The way to hook these, I'm going to take a break here for a second, folks. See, I've got this amazing salsa. I take jalapeños, tomatoes, and some spices. And this is the world's quickest salsa to make. So easy. There's no work. Now, once in a while I make a salsa that, I cook it. Use fresh garlic. Use fresh onions. Put some cilantro in it. Chop it up with a knife. Chop the parts up with a knife. But this is a quickie. I eat so much salsa. I usually don't want to wait. This is really quick. A little bit spicy is not for everyone. When you see my recipe, you can see how simple, how easy it would be to tone it down a bit. There are all kinds of companies making salsas that they sell in the stores. This is one of those companies. I don't believe in reinventing the wheel, but I promise you they don't make this or the other more time-consuming salsa that I sometimes make. This is their queso blanco dip. That means white cheese dip. People make a fuss. Oh, I like queso. So you like cheese? Well, I don't like cheese, but I like queso. Queso just means cheese. I believe they did a very good job. Tostitos did of making their cheese dip. And it's not the only one I've eaten off the shelf that was really good. But I've never had a salsa off the shelf. It was up to my standards. That's really good. I need more followers. I need people to subscribe. If I get 3 subscriptions after posting this video, 3 new subscriptions, I'm going to post my recipe for this salsa. I really need those subscriptions, and you really need this salsa. So, okay, let's take a look at this rig here. Here I have, of course, a circle hook, which I showed you before. It's attached to the line, a leader, with a uni knot. Use any knot you like, as long as it's a good strong knot. 18 to 24 inches of line, and then using another uni knot, or whichever knot you choose. It's attached to this swivel barrel. I'm going to take a line from the end of this rod here. I'm going to use an egg weight. Any weight that slips, that slides on the line is good. I have 5 different sizes of these. That's the biggest one, right there. There's one in the middle size. This is the one that I was using. You can see it's become discolored. A smaller one, and a smaller one still. They're egg weights. Take the egg weight, feed the line through it. It's a sliding weight. Then I'm going to feed a bead through the line. And then this tag end of the line from the rod is going to go right in here with another universal knot. Ordinarily I put 5 or 6 loops, and the number of loops you use on a universal knot is dependent upon the diameter of the line. 1, 2, 3. Again, you would use more. Never use your teeth to cut off that tag line. So there you go. There's the hook. You can put any kind of bait on there you like. There's a swivel. And sliding up and down on the line is this egg weight and this bead. The bead serves the purpose of protecting the line. In the event that this weight were to strike up against that barrel swivel too many times, it could compromise that line. It could put a nick in it, and then when you catch a fish it breaks. We don't want that to happen. So those are egg weights. If there's a lot of current, you use the big one. I fish right behind the boat, and this is fine. Doesn't weigh too much even with the bait on the hook. And it's going right behind the boat. So the current's going that way, and it just stays right down there where it needs to be. If you're fishing from the bank, that's different. You're throwing out into the water, and the current's trying to drag it away to your right or to your left, depending which way the current's going. So a heavier weight will keep it down where you have it. You're usually trying to reach a channel in the river or the creek. That's where channel cats live, the channel, which is a little bit deeper. So the fact that this slips like this is very important. It's the reason for a Carolina rig. The fish will grab that bait on the end of there. He'll grab whatever bait you're using, and he'll have time to process it and realize, yeah, this is actual food. He'll swallow it a little bit deeper before he takes off, and he won't feel resistance because it's slipping. And then you have a chance to catch him. You can use this for artificial baits. You can use this with lures and plastic worms. You can use it for the dip baits I showed you before. A piece of liver, live bait, whether it's minnows or creek chubs, they all work really well for catfish and other species. You can use this same rig for trout, and that's one of those instances where you would use the very smallest weight. You use a treble hook, and there are pastes for trout. They're called power baits, and some other companies make them too. I put them on that treble hook, and that trout will pick that up, say, ah, this is food, and he'll take off. And by the time you get around to sinking the hook, he should have swallowed that well. So no resistance, that's very important. You'll notice, you probably heard it ringing. I have a bell on the end of the pole here. Now, if you're fishing at night, or if you're sitting in a chair enjoying a refreshing beverage or something to eat, or if you're just an old man in his later 60s and you fall asleep in that chair, I know a guy like that, this bell will ring when the fish starts messing with it, giving you an opportunity early on to go over, pick up the pole, and be ready when he really takes that bite. So, that's how we fish for catfish sometimes. Do me that favor, subscribe. If I get 3 subscribers, I'm going to give you the recipe, the excellent salsa. Thanks again.